He used to have a name that echoed in stone. In the halls of Memphis and Thebes, Moses carried the weight of empire. It was a name whispered in corridors of power, associated with the finest linens, the sharpest education, and absolute certainty. To be a prince of Egypt was to be a master of urgency. Everything mattered. But that man, the man of force who thought he could solve suffering with a single, violent blow, died the moment his feet hit the sand of the eastern desert. When he fled Egypt, he wasn't just fleeing a death sentence. He was fleeing a version of himself that no longer worked. He arrived in Midian, with the stench of the palace still in his clothes. He expected perhaps a brief detour. He did not know it would last 40 years. If you find value in these slow stories, narratives that look for meaning in quiet moments, please consider subscribing. The first 10 years are the hardest. They are the years of the backward glance. You sit by the well, and your mind is still in the palace. You replay the arguments. You wonder if they miss you. For a man trained in the music of court, the stillness of the Sinai feels like a vacuum. It is the shock of becoming a nobody. He married a daughter of Midian and became a shepherd, a profession the Egyptians loathed. Fine linen became coarse wool. The scepter became a crooked wooden staff. Hands that held scrolls now delivered lambs in the dirt. This is the dissolving. The prince is being unmade, one dusty day at a time. The urgency to do something great chafes against the mundane. The sheep do not care about his lineage. Have you ever felt your identity dissolving? Comment below. We often find our wilderness stories are more similar than we think. By year 20, the memory of Egypt begins to blur. The language of the court feels heavy, replaced by the sparse dialect of the desert. This is the long middle, where most people give up. In the middle years, the why fades. You no longer ask when the mission will start. You wonder if the rain will come for the grass. This is the erosion of urgency. In our world, waiting is wasted time. But in the wilderness, waiting is the work. Moses learned the rhythm of the earth. You cannot hurry a flock. You cannot demand the seasons change. He was being cured of the Egyptian disease of making things happen. His ambition cooled, not into despair, but into quiet, steady presence. He was becoming a man who could stand still. Who are you when no one expects anything from you? When there are no cameras, no audiences, no ledgers? Moses found the answer in repetition. He was becoming a man whose identity was not tied to output, but to being. If finding peace in unproductive seasons resonates with you, please like this video. It helps these stories reach others in their own desert. By year 30, the transformation is nearly complete. The man who stood tall in the palace now walks with the stoop of someone who has spent a lifetime watching the ground for tracks and water. His skin is leathered by the sun. The hero narrative has dissolved. Moses no longer sees himself as the deliverer of Israel. He is a shepherd of Midian. This is exactly where he needs to be. There is profound holiness in being forgotten. When the world forgets you, you are free from its expectations. You are no longer performing. You are just a man, standing on earth, breathing. He learned the language of the wilderness. He knew which scrub brushes would survive the heat. He was becoming meek, not weak, but power under control. The fire of his youth had moved inward. It was no longer a wildfire. It was a steady hearth that could sustain. As the 40th year approached, Moses was a man of profound emptiness. Not the emptiness of a vacuum, but of a vessel scrubbed clean. He was 80 years old. By all human standards, his life was over. But it is only when we are truly empty that we can be filled with something that isn't ourselves. He walked the backside of the desert. He wasn't looking for a miracle. He was doing what he had done for 14,000 days, tending sheep. He was present, he was noticing, and then he saw it. A bush was burning, but it was not consumed. The burning bush is often portrayed as grand spectacle. But in 40 years of silence, it was something else. It was brief. It was almost quiet. The miracle wasn't just that the bush was on fire. The miracle was that Moses was the kind of man who would stop to look at it. The prince of Egypt would have ridden past on a chariot. But the shepherd of Midian, formed by 40 years of dust and repetition, had learned to notice. The fire didn't start the work of Moses' life. It signaled the work was finished. The 40 years of hiddenness were not the waiting room for his calling. They were the calling. The desert had stripped away the prince so the prophet could emerge. He was finally small enough to be used by something large. He was finally quiet enough to hear a voice that doesn't shout. Maybe you feel like you are in your own 40-year stretch. Maybe you feel forgotten. Do not fear the dissolving. The wilderness is not punishment, it is formation. Stay in the dust, stay with the sheep, learn the language of the wind. The fire will know where to find you when you are ready. And when it comes, it will be a quiet invitation to take off your shoes, because the ground you have been walking on, the dusty, mundane, hidden ground, has been holy all along. Thank you for staying. If this story spoke to you, subscribe for more meditations on the quiet life. Comment with what your wilderness has taught you. And remember, stay in the quiet. The formation is happening in the dark.